Hey, y'all, welcome back to Shoot For It. It's a show where we talk shooting jumpers and shooting for takedowns. And most importantly, we're just here to shoot the shit.
That's right, guys. Happy holidays. December. We're finally in holiday season. It feels right to hear Christmas music. I don't know about you boys, but Christmas is definitely like the best time of the year for me. I love the holidays. In Houston, it doesn't get too cold. Recently, it's been pretty rainy, but usually the weather gets pretty nice and chilly, but nothing crazy. Um, Gabe, what about you, man? How you liking the weather? You liking the Christmas spirit? How's everything been?
Yeah, man, honestly, like Texas winters aren't really that bad. There's like 2 weeks of the year where it gets like real freezing cold, but like other than that, I mean, I really like the Christmas season, this December leading into January, those few weeks in between where the weather is like, 50-ish during the nighttime and like 65 during the day. It feels fantastic outside. Hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. I know I did. Spent some good time with family. Had a big old meal with some turkey. But yeah, man, we had a fun episode today planned for you guys. We're going to talk basketball. We're going to talk MMA like usual. But I kind of wanted to start it off with a random type of opener. So I know everybody's probably, most people at least, been watching the Stranger Things. It's like all anyone's talking about. Have you been watching Stranger Things, Juho?
I haven't watched the newest season, but I watched up to like when that dad guy breaks out of prison and like
Right, it was like in Russia or whatever.
Yeah, he's in Russia and he like reunites with everybody. I think that's as far as I got, and then I just never picked it back up from there.
Okay, well, so pretty much like it's nothing to do with like the new season or anything, but I had a thought while watching some of the new episodes because like they're based out of Indiana in this town called Hawkins, right? Hawkins is a made up place, but it's still in Indiana during the 80s. Why does no one talk about Larry Bird, man? That was like when Larry Bird started, like his name started breaking out. He was a star at Indiana University. Go Hoosiers, right? But like that was like the peak of like Magic Johnson versus Larry Bird, Michigan State versus Indiana in the championship game. Like I thought it would be funny if they included like a little Easter egg where someone's like, "Oh, did you see they played Magic Johnson at the big man spot or whatever?" Or Larry Bird's cooking. So I thought that was a random funny thing where it's like, I wish they would bring up Larry Bird in Stranger Things. I guess
also like Indiana is like the birthplace of basketball, so
exactly.
I don't know how many. I mean, I don't remember like a single basketball reference in the show, but maybe it's because they're focusing on Stranger Things. But I don't know. You're right. I think Larry Bird, or at least Gary Bird, Garrison Matthews, at least he should make one appearance.
But yeah, I mean, like they have some basketball stuff. I know, like the black kid. I can't remember his name off the top of my head right now, but like he's on the basketball team and all that. So I don't know. It would be funny if they had some kind of Larry Bird Easter egg or mention or something. But anyways, one other thing, I guess, TV related, entertainment related.
Really quick. Me and Gabe and Nick, we actually went to school, middle school, with one of the actors in Stranger Things. His name was Grant Goodman. Shout out to that guy. I didn't know him at all, but I know that he's in Stranger Things.
Oh, that dude was such an asshole, bro. He was such an asshole.
Okay. Well, never mind. I take back my shout out, but we did go to school with him. There's a fun fact for you guys about the Shoot For It podcast. That's how we're weirdly tied to Stranger Things.
Strangely tied to Stranger Things. Another thing I've been watching is Physical Asia. I don't know if you've been on that at all.
Oh, man. I've been watching that too.
It's been awesome. I saw Robert Whitaker's in it. I haven't finished it yet. I'm not fully caught up, so I'm not going to give any spoilers. Obviously, I don't know how it unfolds, but Robert Whitaker has been dominating for Australia, so I thought that was really sick to mention.
Team Mongolia, like those guys are pretty hardcore. Like
I think
episodes.
I like Mongolia and Australia so far in the show. I just got to the part where they're like running up that sand hill or whatever.
Okay, so
like securing locations. It's like episode 2 or something, but
yeah. Manny Pacquiao.
Anyways, guys.
Manny
Pacquiao. Great season, y'all. Check out Physical Asia.
Yeah, check out Physical Asia, and we'll keep you guys updated too on it. But Gabe, I'm sorry to interrupt you, man, but I have some really like pressing things that in the basketball world that I've been really wanting to talk to you about. I kind of wanted to keep this a little bit of like not a secret, but I kind of wanted your fresh take on it. I wanted to be with the audience to listen to it with your opinion for the first time. So, I mean, Nick has it posted up right here. Shams actually tweeted out that Giannis and his agent have started conversations with Milwaukee about, a future, whether that's staying or if it's going elsewhere. But I mean, I think after the following news about Giannis deleting everything about the Bucks on his Instagram until the championship, we can safely assume that he's probably out of there. So if Giannis is going to be traded, obviously I'd love to see him with Kevin Durant in Houston. But obviously we've heard a lot of rumors with the Knicks. I think the Spurs could offer a really interesting trade package. You know, I've even heard about like obviously the Lakers are always in there, but
That's not
there's a lot of
happening.
teams, huh?
The Lakers are not making that trade. They
Okay, yeah,
can't make
right. I
that
know,
trade.
but like you know what I mean. Like it could be anyone. Anyone can make a big swing for this guy. You're getting an MVP caliber player in his prime, about to leave. What do you think, man? I'd love to hear your opinion about all this.
Yeah, so I mean, Giannis Antetokounmpo, he's not just an MVP caliber guy. He is a Defensive Player of the Year caliber guy. He has won a finals. He has won a Finals MVP award. So this guy can get the job done. He had a 50-point game to close out the finals against the Suns back in, 2021? So that is the caliber of guy we're dealing with here. Just to give some context, Juho already mentioned that on his Instagram, a lot of fans were noticing that he had deleted all of the pictures associated with the Bucks organization, which is definitely a big hint that he's not happy with the organization, whether it's just the coaching or the players around him. We're not totally sure. The Bucks are not top tier in terms of being a championship contender right now. But another interesting thing is people were noticing all this, Instagram absence of Bucks, outside of him holding up the championship trophy. The next day, 3 minutes into a game, I believe against the Hornets, he had a non-contact injury where he literally was just like stepping back onto the court from out of bounds, and he took like one or two steps and he went down grabbing his calf. They're saying it's a calf strain.
Giannis, no field goals yet. Giannis dancing in the mid-range, finding a cutting AJ Green.
And that's the key. Giannis is down, Lisa. Doesn't look good.
But it kind of looks suspicious. So some people are thinking he's faking this injury. What will happen after that? 2 to 4 weeks is the recovery time I'm hearing from the insiders with the Bucks, and they're going to tank significantly in that 2 to 4 week period. I think he's intentionally tampering with the organization to leverage himself into a better place where it's we have to make a move now because he's going to tank our whole season and we were trying to make the playoffs. Anyways, if
don't they have to, and correct me if I'm wrong, but don't they basically already have to scramble because the trade deadline's actually coming up pretty soon?
The trade deadline, yeah, it is in February, right before the All-Star break. So, or right after. I'm not sure exactly what the day is, but around the All-Star weekend is when the trade deadline is, and that's coming up very soon. So, what kind of teams would be going after Giannis? Obviously, anyone would want him on their roster. There's going to be a really high asking price. Teams that can make it happen. You mentioned the Spurs. I think the Spurs are a team that are going to be in these conversations pretty heavily. Look out for the rumors from these insiders like Shams. What could the Spurs offer? They have Stephon Castle. They have Dylan Harper. They have Keldon Johnson. They have De'Aaron Fox. They're overloaded at this guard spot, and all of those guys need the ball in their hands. Which one would you be willing to part with? They've only had De'Aaron Fox for a limited amount of time, but he is an All-NBA. He is an multiple-time All-Star type of guy, and he's one of the most prolific clutch-time shot makers in the league. Do they want to move on from him? They might have to. Even if they don't want to, they might have to just to match up with the salary. It's Giannis, man. I mean, just imagine having two of the most gifted freak of nature athletes on the same squad with Wembanyama and Giannis.
No one's getting anything in the paint. No one's getting anything in the paint.
I mean, or on the wing. I mean, Giannis and Wemby can guard the wing too, especially Giannis on the help side. I would have nightmares if I was, going on a road trip to San Antonio and they had those two guys. I would be having nightmares. You could not sleep going up against that matchup. That, let alone the Spurs have young talent they could trade, and they have draft picks. That's exactly
even
what
if they
the Spurs
traded all those guards you mentioned, they still have De'Aaron Fox.
right. So the Spurs, I think, are the number one team to land Giannis if he does force his way out of Milwaukee. Shams is a pretty reliable guy, so if he's already reporting that agents are speaking with the organization directly on how do they resolve this disgruntlement, I think then there is a good chance that he will actually be traded. Besides that, you don't have a ton of teams that Giannis would want to go to, but at the end of the day, if he wants to trade, he's going to force his way out. Nick, could you look up if he has a no trade clause? That way he can actually like force his way to whatever team he wants. Another team, I think the Miami Heat are in the conversation. They have a handful of young guys that they can make a trade that would, I think, make the Bucks happy. I think if you trade a guy like Tyler Hero, who's not quite an all-star, but he is like a 20 to 25 point per game type of guy. He is a guy you can run the offense through. You include Tyler Hero, maybe like Nikola Jovic and Jaime Jaquez Jr. I'm not sure exactly what their draft picks are looking like, but I'm sure they have a couple picks they could send Milwaukee's way. I think the Heat are a decent option for a trade.
Gabe, so Giannis does not have a no-trade clause.
He does not. So it doesn't necessarily mean he's going to get to the team he wants to get to, but I do think there is a trade that's in the that's brewing right now. So Heat,
and like all these rumors with the Knicks, I feel like the Knicks actually have a pretty bad package, right? It would really have to be like Giannis forcing the situation,
right? And I don't think the Knicks can really make a trade that would satisfy the Bucks because it would take significant. That might be if the Knicks are involved in this, it would probably be a multiple team trade, not just two teams. And what would you give up? Would you give up Karl Anthony Towns for like swapping out? If it was just straight up Towns for Giannis, that wouldn't happen. But let's just play that scenario out. What would the Knicks look like? I mean, you have Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, Josh Hart, OG Anunoby, and Giannis. There's no floor spacing on that team.
Karl Anthony Towns for like spacing and have Giannis at the 4.
Well, if they kept Karl Anthony Towns, who would you trade? Like what? OG Anunoby, Josh Hart, and Mikal Bridges? I don't think
for example.
I think Giannis could pick up that slack if they lost all three of those guys, but would they be a better team? I don't think it would really make sense for the Knicks to make that move because, like, what are the Knicks right now? Number 3, number 4 in the East. They're not in a desperate situation to make a trade like that. That would, jeopardize the season. They are under a new coaching staff with Mike Brown as a head coach. They're doing relatively well. They're playing different than the year before. So I don't think the Knicks are really considering that too much because that's just such a risky move for a playoff team, especially a high-end playoff team in the East. As of right now, the Knicks are number 3 with 14 wins, 7 losses. I don't see that happening. Bucks are at 10 and 13, so they're they're under 500 and they're the number 10 spot in the East. I don't see the Knicks making that trade, even if Giannis really wants to play in that huge New York market. That is, the mecca of basketball. Besides that, man.
Well, I had one more team. Gabe. I wanted to throw to the Pistons. I feel like that might be a team that could offer a package. Like I know Jalen Duren, he's kind of doing pretty well right now.
He's doing great.
Giannis and Cade together. Maybe you could keep Jalen Duren and trade Amen and what's that other wing they have over there? The Pistons.
The guy like what's his face? Rob something the third. I don't know. I don't think the Pistons would make that move either because they're number 1 in the East at 17-5. Why would you blow that up? Yeah. Jalen Duren looks like their bona fide big man for the future, and then they still have Isaiah Stewart, who is miraculously became a 3-point sniper. So I don't see. I think the Spurs and the Heat are really the two markets to look out for here. The 76ers are an interesting team because they have Joel Embiid, who
Paul George's contract.
And Paul George. And they have a few guards that are taking up the same, spots on the lineup with Jared McCain, VJ Edgecombe, Tyrese Maxey. Would the Sixers be willing to make that type of move? That's kind of a rivalry over there, Milwaukee and Philly. So I don't know if they would want to do that to make either team better or worse. I think they don't want to help each other out. But Daryl Morey is the type of guy to take big swings. So if you trade Joel Embiid and Jared McCain, I think that money-wise it does check out. I mean, you could add in Paul George, but the Bucks do want some more security for the future with young players. I think the Spurs are the team to, if the trade does happen, you throw in, Stephon Castle, who was Rookie of the Year last year, 6'7", do it all combo guard, or Dylan Harper, who's a 6'6" sniper outside in, playmaking, score first type of guard who can also defend, or De'Aaron Fox. I mean, who's in his prime right now. Even though he's recovering from injury, he's still in his prime. So I think the Spurs just really have the perfect recipe, and they have draft picks. So if there was a Giannis trade, my pick is definitely on the Spurs.
All right. I think that was very eloquently put. Guys, I mean, I think, Gabe put it very, very well. He's convinced me. I mean, I was already thinking the Spurs. The reason that I was throwing out a lot of these other teams, to be completely honest with you, is because I'm already terribly jealous of the Spurs. I'm already terribly jealous of their future. They've gotten everything handed to them like a little cherry-picked, little spoiled little franchise that they are. And, us Rockets fans have to deal with, Victor Wembanyama, and hopefully Giannis will never step foot in Texas. And if he does, maybe his, Rice University graduated wife might convince him to come here and play with Kevin Durant. I will leave it at that.
You know what? There's one more interesting scenario where he ends up on a Western Conference team. The Golden State Warriors, as of right now, they're number.
Whoa, he's not going to the freaking Warriors.
Oh, I mean,
what are they going to give? Kuminga?
I mean,
Podziemski?
Kuminga, Podziemski. I don't know, man. It's not likely. Moses Moody. I mean, none of those guys are really at the same timeline. But Giannis has said he wants to play with Steph. I mean, maybe throw in if you trade Jimmy Butler, but I don't think that's going to happen. The Bucks want somebody young, but that's just I feel super deep honorable mention.
As it is to say, the Spurs gives the best package, and it works out best for both teams. I mean,
okay. And here's one that's also theoretically possible: the Oklahoma City Thunder, right?
Dude, shut up, bro.
It's theoretically possible, man. And if I was a Thunder,
has the best package in the entire.
I mean, I'm totally fine sending off Chet and a couple of other guys. I mean, they have so many guys you could
Chet
throw
and
at.
Isaiah Joe plus a crap ton of picks.
They have so many guys they could throw the Bucks' way that they would be super satisfied.
If they wanted to, I don't think they will because they're so good. If they wanted to, they could get Giannis. They could beat everybody.
Okay, that kind of transitions me into my next topic. We're already on the Thunder. The Thunder are, as of right now, they're 21-1. 21-1, ladies and gentlemen. This is insane. What we're seeing right now it is definitely a dynasty. I really don't want to see Giannis go there, but they're already 21-1. I think Jalen Williams, who was an All-NBA guy, All-Star last year, he just got back 2 or 3 games ago, and they were already 20, I don't even know, 19-1 or something. Now they're 21-1. He's back. He's playing well. They have a scoring differential of plus 15.5. Now, if they finish the season right now with a plus 15.5 differential, that would be the highest, win by 15.5 points is what that means. They would have the highest point differential of all time. And guess what? Last year, they set the record for the highest point differential of all time with plus 12.9 points. So they had broken a record that had been standing since 1970-1971 season, and they're doing even better this year with some injuries.
The Clippers picks.
And they have the Clippers picks. I mean, the Clippers are dog shit right now, number 13 in the West, 6-16 on the season. James Harden has been carrying them, but that's the last hope for the Clippers. They just waived Chris Paul. That was something else I wanted to bring up, but that's my next topic. I'll get to that in a second. So just to finish up on the Thunder, I think they have a perfect recipe of playing as a team. They don't play like a super team. They have Shea, who's their bona fide, certified number one option, MVP, Finals MVP. He's led the league in scoring for a couple of years in a row now. They have Jalen Williams, who's kind of like the Scottie Pippen to Michael Jordan with the 95-96 Bulls, right? You see where I'm going here, Juho? Mm-hmm. They're playing as a team, not a super team. They have – it's like the Steph Curry is the Shea, and the Klay Thompson is the Jalen Williams, and the Chet Holmgren is the Draymond Green. They're on pace to have a 70-plus win season, just like the 2015-2016 Warriors, who set the all-time regular season record with 73-9 wins. The Bulls with 95, 96, 72, and 10, right? They're on the same pace to win that many games. Are they better or worse than those two teams? What do you think, Gio?
I think they're as good as all those teams. And it pains me to say that as a Rockets fan, but they're the best defense arguably the league has ever seen, first of all. And then their offense is insane because of Shea and his shot making ability to get to the line, his availability, his stamina. Dude, Shea checks out fourth quarter, basically every game. He just gets to rest, and he's already putting up insane numbers. They're deep as it can get, and again, I keep talking about this. Their future is insane. Their GM's clearly a genius. They have more first round picks than like a lot of rebuilding teams. I literally don't know what else to say. It's just perfect. They're doing so good. And if I was an Oklahoma, City Thunder fan, I'd be up in the moon right now. This is probably how the Warriors fans felt back in the day. This is probably how the Bulls fans felt back in the day. And
But I mean, just saying, like that Bulls team and that Warriors team, they didn't have draft picks stacked up like this.
Yeah,
like it's a different level. If I was a Thunder fan, I would be more than over the moon. I'd be, going to Pluto or something, man. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
There is really no scenario, unless Shea has a career altering injury.
Yeah,
there's nothing that's going to stop them.
Exactly.
It's all on Shea, and like you're even saying, he sits most of these fourth quarters. And I heard a joke. I don't know. I mean, it's more of a rumor than a joke, but I heard some of the players were talking about starting a fourth quarter podcast where the starting lineup gets to go have their own podcast on the bench before the game's even done, man. That's how crazy it is. And they can sit on the bench and be like, yeah, man, so what'd you have for lunch today or whatever, and not even care about the game because they're already up 20 plus. So it's crazy. What they really could do, because another issue they're going to run into outside of injuries and as these players age, also they're really young. So they're young and they're on these rookie contracts, especially Chet Holmgren, I believe, is still on a rookie contract. Or maybe he got extended last year and last offseason, whatever. They're not going to be able to pay these guys forever. Right. But if they just keep a few of these guys and they just trade for another superstar, they're all set, man. And they have the draft capital and the young players to do so. Sky's the limit. I mean, more than the sky, the entire universe is the limit for the Thunder, man.
Yeah, man. I'll say the last thing I'll say about that is we as the Rockets, this feels eerily similar to the Harden Warriors, almost get upsetting their dynasty with our team. It feels eerily similar to that a little bit, where we are a team that they have to watch out for. But also another team that I always bring this guy up, and I'll just make it a quick minute, is Nikola Jokic. That's the only guy the Thunder are also really afraid of. The other MVP out in the West, having a historic year again, even better somehow than the year before. He has eyes on the back of his head, and but I feel like that's the only other team.
It's insane.
Obviously, us, the Rockets, biased.
So I guess I got two comments on that. So like you're saying, the Rockets, we do have these dreams to dethrone a dynasty. The small ball Rockets were literally built to stop the Warriors by, shooting as many threes as they did and staying in the game offensively. And now the Rockets are doing the same thing where we got this super jumbo lineup that can switch and guard anybody. And we play a lot of the zone defense. We play physical. We get our missed shots and we put them back up right away. So we're built to dethrone a dynasty with the Thunder. But you mentioned the Denver Nuggets. I believe yesterday or the day before, Jamal Murray had a 50-point game, 52 points to be exact, 19 for 25 from the field, 10 for 11 from three. And the craziest part is 95% true shooting percentage. That's only happened 2 or 3 times in the history of the NBA. Guess what? That's 2 out of the 3 times were Jamal Murray, and the other one was Michael Jordan. So
I do not know.
That's insane.
Is there a better offensive sequence than Nikola and Murray's pick and roll in the league?
Yeah, maybe Aaron Gordon and Nikola Jokic, man. Yeah, they're all the same team. And guess what? Aaron Gordon had a 50 ball early in the year too, and he also went 10 for 11 from three.
Yeah.
So like these guys can win in a variety of ways. Thanks in large part to Nikola Jokic, but these other guys are really stepping up. I mean, you got Tim Hardaway Jr. and Bruce Brown, Christian Brown, and then
they're not getting completely
acquisition
washed
Cam
anymore
Johnson.
when he's out, with Valanciunas being able to at least hold some semblance of the offense together.
Right, and like Valanciunas, I didn't really know what to expect out of him this year with the Nuggets, but he's really playing that backup center role very well. Sometimes they even play it on the court at the same time, but that's very rare. They're not like they're heavy-footed guys. They're not nimble. They don't really stay in front of their defenders well, but they play the game very smart. So having Jonas Valanciunas has been extremely helpful for them because he's a savvy veteran that plays the game the right way. He can read offensive schemes very well. He's great at setting screens and passing out of the double team. So Valanciunas has been a fantastic pickup for the Nuggets as well. But I guess that's really it. I don't really have a ton to say about the Nuggets.
Last thing before we move on to MMA, you mentioned it really quick, the Chris Paul thing. I thought we could end with that.
Oh, yeah, we can talk about Chris Paul for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just saying I was done talking about the Nuggets, but
okay.
Yeah, so like Chris Paul, just yesterday he got cut from the Clippers, and he had signed with the Clippers in free agency with the intention of doing a farewell tour and retiring after this year. And for some reason, they went on ahead and said, "No, you can go home." And I don't know if Nick has the picture, but he posted on his Instagram. It was very cryptic. He was like, "Man, they just sent me home. Deuces." He put the peace sign hand emoji up there, and I was like, "Whoa, what's going on?" It was like at 1 a.m. that this dropped, 1 a.m. Central Time, that is. And I was like scrambling, like, "Whoa, what just happened? Did Chris Paul just get cut from the Clippers?" And by the time the morning rolled around, it was confirmed that he was cut by the team. And I feel like they just did him so dirty, man. I mean,
big time.
I mean, that's nuts. Like he wasn't even playing a lot of minutes. He's not the reason why the Clippers suck. It's not his fault. It's a handful of injuries and inconsistency from everyone outside of James Harden. So
the only reason that the Clippers have any positive quote unquote dynasties or any kind of quote unquote good memories is because of Chris Paul. Lob City Clippers is literally the only thing anyone like that's not a Clippers fan cares about with that franchise. That's
Exactly.
literally the only thing the Clippers have going for them is Lob City. And Chris Paul and Blake Griffin were a big part of that. So the fact that he's a legend over there, he's like, you know what I mean? He could get his jersey retired as a Clipper. Like that's how big of a deal he is as a Clipper.
For sure. He was going to be the first Clippers player to have his jersey retired up in the rafters. He was going to be the first guy.
Yeah. But now
it didn't dirty like this.
Happened.
So I don't think he wants his jersey retired.
Clippers ownership is, especially after the Kawhi stuff, it's just the ownership reflects the whole team, at the end of the day. And that kind of corruption trickles down, and you're seeing the Clippers are one of the most horrific teams I've ever seen. We need maybe Chris Paul can come in for like a half a veteran's minimum as like an assistant coach for the Rockets.
Yeah, I mean, I do think he's the type of guy who would want to go into coaching. I do think he has limitations right now, as in terms of playing. I mean, he's for sure, he can play 5 to 8, 5 to 10 minutes, a night on certain teams, but at the level he wants to be at like a contender team, he's not going to be super serviceable for most of these contenders. So where does he go from here? Is he just totally done? My prediction is he's not going to sign with another team, even though he could if he wanted to. I don't think it's happening. I think he's done.
We'll see. All right, guys. Well, that has been the NBA segment. We're going to move into the MMA segment shortly. We got some UFC 323 predictions, 324 predictions, as well as the Australia card reaction of Volkanovski versus Lopez. We'll be right back. Welcome to the Shoot For It podcast. We just talked about a little bit of basketball news, but guys, UFC, we got a lot of exciting stuff that just came out, starting with UFC 323, Dvalishvili versus Yan. Man, I mean, I think for pay-per-views, this is a pretty good one. What do you say, Gabe?
I mean, I think this is a really solid. I mean, obviously, like I'm never like super amped up for a bantamweight fight, but this is again, it's the wrestling machine dominance from Merab versus a striker like Petr Yan. I think this is going to be a really fun fight. I mean, well, you can go one of two ways, and the latter is more likely to happen, where Merab just absolutely steamrolls Yan with the wrestling. But I think this is going to be an interesting fight. I'm definitely going to tune in for this one this weekend, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is definitely a lighter weight class card. You got Alexandre Pantoja versus Joshua Van. Super excited for that one. You got Moreno versus Tyra, Cejudo versus Talbot. So, I mean, all across the board, you have like super light guys, and then you got Polish power. Just to sweeten the pot a little bit. You need a heavy guy in there. But yeah, why don't we start with the early prelims? Our boy Edson Barboza is about to get smoked, I feel like, by Jalen Turner. What do you think?
The tarantula, yeah, bro. Honestly, Jalen Turner, he is like probably my favorite lightweight. In terms of playing with him in UFC 5, he's a cheat code because he's like 6'3", 155er, man, with elite kickboxing and taekwondo skills, man. Edson Barbosa, though, he is a fantastic kickboxer too, but he's on the older side. As of right now, Jalen Turner is a minus 258 favorite in this fight, and I do agree with those odds. I think Turner coming out of retirement, the only question is, has he lost a step? Is he a little bit rusty because he hasn't fought in a while? I did think his like original retirement was kind of like for show. He was saying something about like he was having some mental issues and he needed to take a step back from the game, and it seemed like he wasn't coming back. But I always had this thought that he would come back because he's still like in his prime, and Barbosa is definitely post prime. I would pick Turner in this fight. What about you, Gio?
Yeah, I'm definitely picking Turner, simply for the fact that Barboza is old. He is small for the division. He's one of those guys who's like a little too big for featherweight, but a little too small for lightweight. It's a little unfortunate. But this is going to be a striking affair. And I think that honestly, like Jalen Turner, he's had a lot of weight problems in his career. I think he should move up to welterweight. I think he'd do really good at welterweight. He'd fill out more. He wouldn't have to, you know, like be an actual spider. You could actually like be more muscular. And I think this guy would do extremely well like against the top welterweights. I really do. I think he still has a great frame for it. But yeah, I think Turner's gonna win. Nothing much to say here. I just hope he makes weight. And I don't know what Barboza did to upset Dana White, because
Yeah.
this sucks for him.
I mean, Barbosa is a fan favorite. I mean, he's longtime UFC legend. The fans love him. But I do think this is kind of putting him out to pasture. He's going to get slaughtered in this
For
fight.
real. That's the kind of vibe I'm getting too. All right, moving to the Marvin Vettori fight. We got Vettori versus Ferreira. I mean, these guys just look like the same guy, but maybe like a slightly different haircuts. I mean, it's kind of uncanny. They're just two freaking tanks. If an orc was a human, it would look like Vettori.
They're the same guy, but just different fonts.
Yeah, yeah, there you go. Yeah. So, literally, I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, they're literally just two meatheads just gonna meathead it out. Whoever meatheads the most wins.
Hey, he's got meathead on the mind today. Anyways, I think this is going to be a slugfest. I mean, I'm kind of surprised. I mean, Marvin Vettori, this isn't the first time he's been on a prelim fight, let alone an early prelim. I mean, he was like a middleweight contender at one point, and he was putting up some very exciting fights. He never runs away from the fire. He's the type of guy. He's a brawler. Like he gets it right in the pocket and he throws hands. He doesn't care how much damage he takes. The dude has iron chin. I don't know too much about Fajeda, but if you're saying this is going to be a boxing match, I do believe you, and I would love to see that. I think this is a fantastic way to end the early prelims and like kick off the event with a little bit of a bang. So I hope this fight.
I think these guys are both just like they're both like jack of all trades type guys, right? They're like pure MMA fighters. Like they don't really have a style, kind of like Sean Strickland in a way, where I think their grappling is going to negate each other because like. Vittori's definitely more of like a Greco-Roman, you know what I mean, like kind of wrestler where he's like on the cage, grind you out, but he still has a strong base. And then Ferreira, I saw that face. Ferreira, he's definitely more like of a jiu-jitsu player, as all Brazilians are. But I think they're not gonna grapple. I think this is just like whose chin is tougher. You're gonna see some sloppy boxing, and you're gonna see a lot of pa 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 on their face. But I think that Vittori might wear it more. And honestly, dude, I made a mistake saying it like that. But anyway, I did not realize that Vittori is 19-9-1, dude. That is pretty awful. He's not doing very well in his career.
Yeah. I mean, that's again. I think he has his 9 losses on his record because he just doesn't care about taking damage. But that is a super risky way to approach a professional MMA fight.
Yeah.
But he's exciting to watch. So you always know you're going to get some good
too
action.
much damage, and he's a little old. I hope he proves me wrong. I really like his interviews. So I'm rooting for Vittori, but I think for just off youth and the momentum is I'm gonna vote towards Ferreira on this one.
And this is a pick 'em fight. It's minus 120 in Vittori's favor. Just for the sake of for the fact that I like watching Vittori fights, I hope he wins this so he can continue fighting in these early prelims and we have some interesting fights happening early in fight cards.
Yeah.
So I would rather have Vittori win this one.
Prelims that you're interested in talking about, Gabe?
Regular prelims, not super excited about. I mean, this is a rare time when the early.
A little bit for us. Who do we got here? We got
Young, I think Macy Barber.
Okay, kind of interesting. McKinney Duncan, I think is going to be a fun fight to watch. It's just going to be a slug fight between the two of them. Like a sprint to the finish line type deal. But that's not really a name that we care about. Dawson Torres, that's going to be a fun one. We're going to see grappler striker there. But yeah, let's just move on to the main card game. Blachowicz versus Bogdan Guskov. What do you think about this one, my friend?
Oof, okay, first, tell me about Bogdan a little bit because I
got you. So Bogdan Guskov is a kickboxer, and he's a counter guy, right? So he's kind of hands down, like tries to bait you, and has pretty strong hands. I think his last fight he knocked out Nikita Krylov in the first round. So definitely some pretty crazy power. However, he did get knocked out by Volkan Oezdemir in his debut. And I love that he's from Uzbekistan. I mean, that's a very diverse country as well. Shout out to Shavkat. He is originally, I think, born. He doesn't claim Uzbekistan, but he was born there. So you got guys who look like Shavkat. You got guys that look like Guskov that live in that part of the region. So yeah, he's a really interesting guy. But then you got Jan Blachowicz. He's fought the who's who. I think this might be a hot take. He might have given Alex Pereira the toughest test at light heavyweight out of anyone Alex Pereira's fought.
I think you could definitely argue that because I remember he gotten Alex in a pretty bad situation with the wrestling a couple of times, and Alex couldn't really get up from it.
Right, and
that top pressure is the lead from Jan.
Yeah, and Jan outboxed and out kickboxed Israel Adesanya. I think you're kind of seeing where I'm going with this, man. I think Blachowicz is about to put it on Guskov. I think he has too much experience. I think I'm ignoring those now. You're just spamming him too much. And then also there's the fact that Volkan Oezdemir knocked Guskov out. I think Jan could do the same thing. So Polish power all the way on this one for me.
Yeah, I would say I'm definitely riding with Jan for this fight. I mean, he's the type of guy, like you said, he's got elite kickboxing and he's got decent wrestling. I mean, more than decent wrestling. Like he's kind of a jack of all trades type of guy. It's like if you're making like in 2K, you're making my career player. Like he just has like 80s across the board on every attribute, and if you're that well balanced, you typically can win the fight in whatever way you want. And with a guy like Bogdan Guskov, who I personally don't even know that much about him, just based on the fact of what I've seen from Jan before with his versatility, I think he finds a way to pull out the win in this fight.
Yeah, and I'm going to mention one more thing before we move on with this, especially in these heavier weights, age doesn't play as big of a factor. Yes, Jan is in his 40s now, but the thing is, speed is like usually the first thing to go when you're older. Power is reportedly the last thing to go. Jan does not really rely on his speed. He relies heavily on accuracy and power and timing. And I think that's something that at his age he still has plenty of. So we'll see what happens. I think Guskov is just too green in the gills. Moving on.
We got Henry Cejudo versus Peyton Talbot, man.
We
Old
got
man
the
versus
Zest
the
King
young
versus the
man.
Cringe Lord. This is Henry Cejudo's retirement fight. I don't know if you guys heard, but this is his
Oh, is it
last fight.
confirmed?
Yeah, confirmed. He's retiring after this. So, man, I mean, you got to say arguably one of the greatest combat athletes of all time. He won an Olympic gold medal in wrestling. I think he's the youngest guy to do it. Beijing Olympics, a heavy underdog in that Olympic event too. He also won the bantamweight title and the flyweight title against arguably the GOAT flyweight, Demetrius Johnson. I mean, the dude is decorated as hell. On his comeback, he gave Aljamain Sterling quite the tussle. And then you got Mr. Zesty. You got Mr. Zest. You got Sugar in the Tank. Um, so I mean, you gotta.
You got Frank
not
Ocean, Frank Ocean's side piece over here, man.
So yeah, I think we're rooting for and going for, and
Yeah, I mean, okay, I'll say this. I kind of have a bad feeling about Cejudo in this fight.
really
I have a feeling he's going to get finished some way or the other.
interesting.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know why. I have a gut feeling in this one, not like the gut feeling that Talbot gets from Frank Ocean. But
Damn.
but yeah, I think I have a feeling Cejudo's going to get finished in this fight, man. I don't think it's going to be
Really?
like, I don't know if it's going to be like a super bloody finish. Like it's not going to be like an Anthony Smith send off, but I think Talbot's going to find a way to win this fight. It might be because both these guys have pretty damn good wrestling, especially for Cejudo. But I think Talbot is like pretty much a certified like better striker than Cejudo, and he's got the reach advantage and the height advantage. I don't see Cejudo really getting too many combinations or anything in the boxing with that 5'4" frame versus the 5'10" frame of Talbot. And I think Talbot's still definitely on the way up. Like I don't even think he's reached his max potential yet. I think I'm gonna take Talbot by finish in this fight somehow.
Okay, you know what? You make a very compelling argument, Gabe. No denying it. Absolutely, he has the size advantage. He has the youth advantage, and Talbot is no joke. There's a reason that he's a highly touted prospect. So, if Talbot is going to win, I also agree with you. It's going to be a first or second round knockout. So I think that's a great analysis by you, and I don't refute it outright necessarily, but I just wanted to offer you a different viewpoint. Henry Cejudo is retiring, yes, but he's not retiring like a lot of guys retire. Like Edson Barboza should retire if this isn't, you know what I mean? Like he's been
Right.
in for way too long. Jose Aldo's been in for too long. Henry Cejudo's in a little bit of a different boat. He hasn't taken nearly as much injuries as these other guys have. He's not as old as those other guys. Yeah, he's still in his late 30s, but he takes good care of himself. He also has that one tool, which is Olympic gold medalist level wrestling. That means that Peyton is not going to be able to take this guy down at all, and Henry definitely has that threat against him. We also see that Henry doesn't have the weakest chin at his age. He still has a pretty good chin. He went all 5 rounds against Song Yadong, even though he didn't have vision in one of his eyes in the last round. He was still able to withstand Song Yadong's power, who I think is arguably stronger in a lot of ways and definitely more explosive than Peyton Talbot. And
sure.
You've also seen Henry Cejudo's karate style really be able to confuse and deter a lot of guys, especially in like a point fighting style. I think Henry really does have a good chance of grinding out Peyton Talbot with his Olympic style wrestling, as well as staying out on the distance. He's always fought bigger guys his whole career. So I think that Henry Cejudo is going to win by decision, and we're going to see one last speech by the King of Cringe.
I mean, I don't disagree with the points you're making, but I do think, I think age is going to have a lot bigger impact in this fight than, the Yan fight. Because like you're saying, at the heavier divisions, like they rarely even rely on speed outside of guys like Cyril Gane. Like no one really relies on speed in these heavier divisions. But at the bantamweight division, the speed is very important. I'm not saying Henry Cejudo is going to look slow necessarily, but Peyton Talbot he's type of guy who he waits for his moments. He's like a slightly more passive fighter, and when he does find his moments, he executes and he gets into his rhythm very fast. So I think that's another reason why I'm slightly leaning towards Talbot. Yes, I mean, Cejudo has had a lot of great victories against legends of the game, and most of them being bigger than him and have a reach advantage and all that. But I have a feeling that Cejudo's going to get finished in this fight, and if it's going to be a finish, it's Talbot's way, in my opinion. If it's decision, then yes, then maybe Cejudo pulls out the win towards the end by decision. But that's what I'm saying.
I think the odds reflect what you're saying, minus 285 to Peyton Talbot. So obviously, don't disagree with you on that. Like, if Talbot wins, I think that's what's going to happen. Maybe I'm reading this wrong, but guys, you could choose one side. You can either go with me, Cejudo by decision, or you can go with Gabe, Peyton Talbot by finish. So why don't we move on to the next fight? But I think that's a great little debate that me and Gabe have. I don't think you can really, go wrong with either one there.
Okay, Brandon Moreno versus Tatsuro Taira.
Ooh, very excited for this one. I'm a big fan of both of these guys.
Okay, tell me about Taira a little bit, because everybody knows Brandon Moreno.
Yeah. So Taira, man, this guy is a complete beast. He pretty much makes every single fight that he does look easy, except the one he lost against Brandon Royval, which was a couple fights ago. The dude is really good at rangy kickboxing, so being really, really far out. He doesn't throw like combos, like ba 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 ba. He's more of like a 1-2 or like a quick, just a quick straight right down the pipe, or like a light kick here and there. But his real bread and butter is his grappling. His jiu-jitsu really seems to be like one of the best in the entire division, except Alexandre Pantoja. And then when it comes to his back take specifically, I mean, the guy is just like a spider monkey. So he is probably one of the most feared grapplers in the division, but overall just one of the most complete guys, has really creative trips and takedowns. And I think that leads into my prediction, man. I think he's going to out-grapple Brandon Moreno. I think he's going to be able to out-scramble him, and I think he's going to be able to show the holes in Brandon Moreno's grappling game.
So I know Brandon Moreno as a decent boxer, but he has pretty solid jiu-jitsu, especially like when he's on his back. I don't know much about Taira, but if you're saying he's this good in the grappling department, that the only person he's really got to worry about is Alexandre Pantoja, then that is a real eye-opener for me. I don't know, man. I mean, everybody loves Brandon Moreno so much. I mean, that 4-fight trilogy with Davis and Figueiredo is just stuff of a UFC legend. I think low-key that might be my favorite saga of like a rivalry of all time in the UFC, especially because like those guys don't hate each other. There's a lot of respect there. So those guys fighting so many times together has made me a big-time fan of Moreno. But like, I do agree with what you're saying. He does have some serious holes in his grappling. And I don't know much about Taira again, but if you're saying he's this good in the grappling department, then Moreno might be in trouble, man.
So Royval is like, as we know, is like an extremely good scrambler, jiu-jitsu guy, and sets an extremely frantic pace, which is why he was able to outpoint and out-decision Taira. But Taira had him in some really serious trouble in a lot of those rounds. And, Taira is one of those technicians, right? So he's going to try to execute a game plan. And the scariest thing about him is that he's really good everywhere. So he's good on the feet, and he's extremely good on the ground. I think this is a really compelling way to set up, if, whatever happens in the next fight, the number one contender. And I think that Taira is definitely going to be, if Pantoja wins, the most compelling grappler that Pantoja's ever fought. So I'm going to go with Taira by technical decision. I think there's going to be a lot of, unfortunately, decisions on this card. That's my prediction. That's usually what happens on these lighter cards. So that is what I'm going to pick.
I mean, I think I'm going to rock with you on this one. Man, I mean, I hate to see Brandon Moreno lose. I mean, I don't want him to lose this fight, but everything you're saying is making me want to lean towards Taira, so I'm going to agree with you on this one. I'm gonna say decision for Taira, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully Moreno wins, but we'll see.
The next one, honestly, this is the one I'm most excited for on the entire card. We got H-Town born, or not H-Town born, but H-Town raised, sorry. Myanmar born, H-Town raised, Joshua Van versus the flyweight GOAT, Alexandre Pantoja. I don't think he's at GOAT status yet, but, Alexandre Pantoja's up there right now. Should be at least top 5 pound for pound if he isn't already. But he's going against the Burmese Python, Joshua Van. This has fight of the year written all over it, man. For me, this has like fight of the year war written all over it.
I mean, that fight he had, it was against Brendan Royval, correct? When he broke the all-time landed strikes record in a single fight. I mean, that was, I think that was one of the best fights I've seen in the past handful of years. Just absolutely electric performance from Josh Van. And
here, Gabe, what was the record and like what was the number of strikes that Joshua Van got?
I can look that up. But you want to go ahead and start breaking down?
Yeah, for sure. While Gabe's looking that up, guys, obviously as H-Town guys, we're huge Joshua Van fans. I think like I just said, this is going to be a real war. People really don't know about, Joshua Van because he's had such a meteoric rise. But the guys he's fought to get to this point have all been very legit guys. He's been rushed a little bit, but he's obviously kind of a savant at fighting. He's the first fighter that was born in the 2000s to be challenging for a title in any division. The guy, is a warrior. He's a fighter. He really embodies that fighter spirit. Like again, Tyra, in my opinion, is more of a technician. Joshua Van's a fighter, right? Like this guy's like a Justin Gaethje kind of animal kind of type. He trains at a gym on Long Point, so shout out to that gym. I gotta check it out. He also has extremely good wrestling defense. So this is a point I wanted to get to. He went against a Japanese wrestler, Rei Tetsura, I believe is his name, Saruya, and then he also went against Cody Durden. Both of these guys were, very high-level wrestlers before they came into MMA, and he was able to stuff their takedowns. And this guy had never actually formally trained wrestling. Gabe, before I pass it on to you, I just wanted to break it down to this point. Joshua Van has good wrestling, but I don't know about his jiu-jitsu. I just don't.
He has fantastic takedown defense. I don't mean to cut you off. He has fantastic takedown defense, but I don't know what he can do if he does get taken down. That's the big question for me.
Exactly. And like obviously, if he gets his back taken, he's in big trouble. And Pantoja's a dog. He's fought the who's who. While Joshua Van was playing soccer, Pantoja was fighting on The Ultimate Fighter. You know what I'm saying? And he's at the top of his game right now. So Pantoja's just seen it all. He's fought everybody. His stand-up's really good, honestly. He obviously prefers to take it to the ground, but his stand-up's not bad.
I think his stand-up game is underrated.
Yeah. Joshua Van is a warrior, though. So I think in my heart of hearts, there might be some bias in here because of my Houstonian pride. But I think this is going to be an absolute violent war. I think both of them are dogs. I think Joshua Van's going to be able to survive the early onslaught of jiu-jitsu and the submission attempts. And later on, he's going to really be able to tag Pantoja to the body and the head, maybe stumble Pantoja. People are going to be roaring. People are going to be screaming. And that last 5 minutes, it's going to be like Joshua Van just coming in with hooks, landing a couple of them, and then Pantoja shoots a desperate double leg, but actually gets it. And you know what I mean? Scramble, scramble, scramble. Maybe he gets on his back. Joshua gets on top, but it's just enough that Pantoja wins. I think it's going to be one of those kinds of fights. You know what I mean? Where maybe Pantoja wins, but people are like, oh, it was a robbery. Like, they need a rematch. Like, something like that. So that's what I'm
I do think this is going to be a war. I think this is going to be a lot closer than people are thinking because, like, Alexandre Pantoja has had a lot of extremely dominant performances in the UFC, but he's never really fought someone with this type of flurry like Joshua Van. So I was pulling up the stats from earlier. So he has the highest significant strikes landed per minute in UFC history with 8.86. And so he has the most the stat I was trying to find earlier was for a 3-round fight, the one against Royval, they combined for a record 419 total strikes, significant strikes for the fight. So this guy, he can really throw with volume, and he's not afraid to scrap with somebody. A guy like Alexandre Pantoja, he's not afraid to take some damage either to get to the grappling.
100%.
Josh Van does not want to grapple with this guy, though. How is he going to avoid the grappling from Pantoja? I think it's kind of impossible. This is a 5-round fight, correct? It's a championship fight.
It is, yep.
Right? So I'm agreeing with what you're saying. I think the first few rounds, maybe first 2 rounds, I'll give it to Van, where he's not going to be, in a super compromised position in the jiu-jitsu game, but he's not going to be able to avoid that the whole fight. And Pantoja has an insane gas tank on him too. People don't really bring that up enough. Like, they're always talking about Merab, the machine.
Yeah.
He doesn't get tired.
Pantoja's a dog.
Pantoja is one of those guys too, where he doesn't get tired no matter how long the fight goes.
He's a hound dog. Yeah, he's gonna fucking be on you the whole time.
If somehow Josh Van wins this fight, it's got to be like first couple rounds knockout maybe, but Pantoja's got a chin on him too. Like, I don't really see any scenario outside of first or second round knockout where Van wins this fight.
Really, I see one other way, like 5th round knockout, like last 10, 20 seconds, like Van just goes crazy, and like somehow flukes like a clipping hook or something. You know what I mean?
Maybe so, because like
a combo.
Like, yeah, I guess maybe if like Pantoja had won like all 4 of the first rounds, and then like he's kind of relaxing a little bit. I mean, he's not really the type of guy that steps off the gas, but like if for some reason he decides to relax a little bit, and Van catches him off guard with a hook or an uppercut or something, then maybe that's the only other scenario I could see Van winning this fight.
Yeah, and as I'm saying this, I do feel my bias. I mean, Pantoja definitely is a favorite for a reason. We should be leaning towards Pantoja. We should be honestly voting for him, but I just can't outright say it. I just can't. Joshua Van is one of my favorites, and I'm riding with him all the way, man.
No, I mean, I love Josh Van, and I really want him to win this fight, but like Pantoja is just a different animal and the same beast, dude. I mean, how are you going to beat this guy? So we'll see. I think this is going to be an exciting fight.
100%.
I hope it doesn't end early and like Pantoja taps him out. So
same. I'd like it to be a war. Absolutely. All right, moving on to the last fight, we got Petr Yan versus Merab Dvalishvili 2. This is going to be a rematch. Honestly, man, I think we can spend a lot less time talking about this one. Dude, Yan's been disappointing me, man. The Song Yadong fight, he was actually not doing very well in the stand-up. He had to take down Song Yadong to beat him by decision. Then the most recent one, he went against Marcus McGee, I think is his name, like ranked 13. Had to take him down in order to succeed. Dude, if you have to take someone down to succeed, and then now you're fighting Merab, I think this is and at the same time, Merab's only gotten better at the stand-up. He knocked down Corey Sandhagen round 2, as we saw, who's I think as good of a striker as Petr Yan. Dude, I think Merab, we're gonna just see another Merab mauling, and I think the odds reflect that.
I unfortunately think this is going to be another main event fight for Merab, where he's just going to absolutely steamroll his opponent again.
Yep.
I mean, Yan. I mean, unfortunately, that's just the reality of the situation. Based on everything we've seen from Merab, especially the last 8 fights, man. I mean, it's crazy what this guy's able to do. This is already going to be his 5th title defense in the same year if he does win this fight. And in my opinion, I think he's going to win it relatively easily. You were talking about how
Petr doesn't have like the one-shot knockout power that Sean O'Malley has, right? He doesn't have that. It's not, he has to build into the fight. Merab's not going to let him have that chance.
So I mean, as good of a guy, as good as Petr Yan is in the striking department, like you're saying, he's already had a few struggle moments recently where he's had to use his grappling to win fights, and he's a strike first style fight.
Exactly.
It's totally not going to work against Merab, and Merab is just going to be laughing if he tries to take him down. And this is going to be a slaughter.
He literally will probably laugh. He'll literally probably laugh.
He's probably going to start doing all kinds of taunts and stuff after like this first or second round. He's going to be like, this guy's soft. So this is going to be an easy win for Merab. -485 in the betting odds. for the Georgian machine, and I totally agree. I think the odds should be probably like minus 700. Like that's how confident I am that Merab's going to win this fight.
Yeah. So, guys, I mean, if we just get a quick summary here, me and Gabe pretty much agreed on every single one this time. I think we had a couple differences on the last card, but this one we pretty much agree on everything except the Henry Cejudo Peyton Talbot one. So that's the one I'm going to be keeping a close eye on since we do have very differing opinions. But guys, we'd love to hear your comments. We'd love to hear what you guys think about this upcoming card. Let us know what y'all think afterwards too. Please let us know your reactions to the fight. We reply to all our comments obviously, so we'd love to hear you guys and engage with you. But man, before we leave you guys for the week, we wanted to quickly go over a couple of these different events. The first one is just really quickly, we got the Cap Royval fight to end the year. A real hardcore night, would you say, Gabe?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, if you're not a big time fan of the UFC, if you're not an underground, fight watcher, then this probably is not the card for you. It's lacking a bit of star power. I am a little bit disappointed with how the UFC is approaching ending their year, because this is going to be the last fight night of the year before the UFC starts their Paramount contract. And I mean, we're going to get into those. We're going to announce what's going on with the 2026. But Brandon Royval is a really exciting fighter to watch. Manel Kape, another fast-paced, exciting striker. I think that fight's going to be interesting. Y'all tune in for that. But like the rest of the card is a bunch of guys you probably never heard of.
Yeah, we got Giga Chikadze, and then we also got who else do we got here? We got
Jillian Robertson. The Stoner Princess.
We got Neil Magny versus Yaroslav Almosov. Dude, I think Yaroslav is I think he was like the Bellator champ, if I'm not mistaken, actually. So that's going to be an interesting fight. We'll see if Neil Magny flukes another third round TKO. But let's move on from this BS. Even as hardcore fans, we're just going to watch it. We're not like super stoked. But we are stoked about the Paramount kickoff game. I'm super excited about Paddy Pimblett versus Justin Gaethje. Yes, I'm a little bit sad that Armand didn't get the title shot, but I mean, guys, this is a great fight.
This is an electric fight. Gaethje versus Pimblett, two guys, totally different personalities, but both guys have an insanely exciting style in the octagon. We obviously know Justin Gaethje as a fantastic striker. Paddy Pimblett is a little bit of do everything type of guy, but he kind of shines more on the wrestling mat. Oof, man, this is going to be a really fun fight. I think this is a great matchup to make at the lightweight division. Fantastic way to kick off the UFC Paramount.
And to be honest, like either of those guys against Ilya or Armand is really exciting. I'm just glad that they have some movement in the lightweight division. Man, Gaethje Pimblett doesn't make much sense, but there's a fight coming up later that makes a lot less sense than this one. So maybe the UFC did this on purpose to make us feel like this one isn't too bad. But also on this card, I mean, Gabe, I'm super, super stoked for this one. I don't know why this isn't the main fight. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like this should be like on top, leading everything. But we got Kayla Harrison versus Amanda Nunes. Basically for GOAT status here. We're looking at the greatest woman of all time. Kayla Harrison, obviously you got a Bantamweight champion of the UFC. She was 155 champ at PFL. So she's cut 20 pounds, guys. 20 pounds, and she's already cutting weight. She's a giant. She's a large woman. And she was also a two-time medalist, Olympic medalist in judo, which just, this is like the Henry Cejudo basically of women's MMA. And then you got Amanda Nunes, the Lioness, also considered the greatest woman of all time. Right now, she was a double champ at 145 and 135. Great takedown defense, great boxing. I mean, she has great fighting instincts in general. Good defense historically. We're gonna get to that in a second. But man, Gabe, what do you see here? I'm super excited about this one, man.
Okay, we're not going to get into our full predictions for this card. Y'all tune in for the next episode when we do get into this. But I mean, Kayla Harrison and Amanda Nunes, two absolute monsters. In terms of wrestling, there's no question these two are the best. But let alone they are the biggest names in probably, arguably, all of women's MMA. I think these are two of the biggest names ever, and especially Amanda Nunes coming out of retirement. She saw the big bad Kayla Harrison. It's like, okay, she's going to start trying to call herself the GOAT. I got to put a stop to this. So that's going to be fantastic. I mean, the rest of the card, though, man, it's insanely stacked. Sean O'Malley versus Song Yadong. Waldo Cortez Acosta versus Derek Lewis.
Dude, that one's going to be sick. Waldo's kind of fighting a bunch. Arnold Allen Gene Silva excited for. Dude, all of these fights are. I mean, even the Gautier fight I'm excited for. The guy's like the cyborg of the middleweight division right now.
Oh my god.
Umar versus Figueiredo is super intriguing.
Oh my god.
And I think they really just stacked this Paramount card for both us and the shareholders.
This is a perfect card. I mean, literally, like every single fight has matchups of top 10 ranked fighters in their respective divisions. Outside of Gene Silva, who's number 11, and Ateba Gautier and Andre Pulyaev. I don't know Pulyaev very well, but Ateba is a knockout artist. He's like a middleweight. Francis Ngannou, also from Cameroon. Man, this is a perfect card. Perfect card.
Yeah, man. So excited for this, and like I said, guys, we can't wait to review this for you. As more of the fights come out and we actually get a solid prelims, maybe we get a couple odds out. But guys, I mean, you've heard it from us, you've heard it from everyone else. We're so excited for this Paramount era. The UFC really went above and beyond here, and the White House card hasn't even been announced. So, guys, last thing we want to end this with is the Volkanovski versus Lopez 2. This was announced. Honestly, like I was the one who wanted to talk about this the most. I think this is just a complete sham, guys. This is because I'm a big Volkanovski fan. It pains me to be a Volkanovski fan because of what he did to the Korean Zombie, who was the guy that got me into MMA in a lot of ways. But, I mean, you can't not be a fan of Volk, cooking with Volk, all that stuff, right? Greatest featherweight of all time, in my opinion. For his legacy, he's already old. He has maybe 2 fights max. This might be his last one. I mean, if I was Volk, you get to retire in Australia. Like, when's the next time he's going to be able to fight in Australia, right? So, I mean, this is a perfect opportunity for him to retire. The UFC should have given him another fighter to build on his legacy, to make him greater. But no, they gave him Diego Lopez, who he just beat 2 fights ago. I know everyone else agrees with me here. This is so undeserved. Diego Lopez is an exciting fighter, but he knocked out Gene Silva. He's not even ranked top 5. And he's already getting a title shot over Movsar Evloev, who's undefeated, who actually beat Diego Lopez, and Lerone Murphy, also who was undefeated, who knocked out Aaron Pico with a spinning elbow his last fight.
Ooh, that was nasty.
Both guys I think who would have given Volk a lot of problems, and it would have been very intriguing. They're both undefeated. It would have looked really good against. It just makes all the sense in the world. They're both undefeated. They're both ranked above Diego, and guess what? Neither of them have fought Volk. Diego just did. So this doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know what the UFC is thinking. It just really bothered me that when this was announced. I thought it was a prank.
I mean, obviously, Movsar is the guy who deserves the title shot, but I think I would have loved to see Lerone Murphy versus Volk in Australia.
That's what I wanted the most, was Lerone Murphy. That's the one.
Oh, my God. That would have been so fun. I mean, Diego Lopez is a fantastic fighter. He's an incredibly exciting style as well, but he just lost to Volk, was it October, November in San Antonio with Noche Latina?
Volk's last fight was Diego.
That was his last fight, yes. And why do a rematch? Maybe it's just in terms of name value, because if you're looking at the featherweight rankings right now, you got Movsar number 1, not the biggest name, but he is a fantastic fighter. He deserves the title shot.
Dude, he's a Dagestani. Australia versus Dagestan is a thing now because of Volk versus Islam. For sure. So I feel like there's a storyline there.
I mean, Yair Rodriguez is a pretty big-time name at number 3. I think, but
dude, Diego should have fought Yair. They have really bad blood, so why not them fight?
Yeah,
at least
I would have loved to see that.
One more time.
That would have been a great card, great fight to have on the Noche card.
Yeah,
instead of Volk, but whatever.
There's word though from Diego that Yair's ducking him, so maybe.
You think so?
But
anyways,
I don't know, I just hope that they add Robert Whittaker to this card. I hope they add Quinlan Salkilled. I hope they add Israel Adesanya. I was thinking, dude, Israel versus RoboCop would be freaking nuts. That would be super fun to watch.
I would be hyped for that fight.
A 3-round fight with RoboCop versus Izzy. Dude, come on. Sign me up.
I'm all for that.
You know what
anyways,
I mean?
guys. Guys, let us know what you think about this Volk versus Lopez rematch. Let us know if you're going to be watching the Manel Cobb versus Brandon Royval fight night, and what you think about this weekend's fights with Dvalishvili versus Yan and their rematch. I mean, there's so many great fights coming up soon. Some later than others. There's 2 more events before the UFC is done for the year. And then we have a long 6-week break before the UFC switches over to Paramount. And Paramount is coming. They're coming hard. Hey, yo.
That's right.
They're coming out
right
swinging.
there.
Yeah, there we go. You got one on me this time.
Yeah.
Pause again. But yeah, pretty much. UFC Paramount is going to be something of. It's going to be something to watch, man. It's going to be a spectacle, and I think everyone is excited for it. The fans are excited, and the fighters are excited. So I can't wait.
And one last note from me. I mean, with the holidays coming up, we got a big break coming for UFC content. So keep a lookout for a lot more fun content from us, a lot more holiday specials, a lot more games. We're going to take it back to the old school shoot for it, where we're going to, try to make you guys laugh a little bit more and think outside the box like we like to do. So, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Gabe, you want to end it off for us? Any last notes?
Yeah, man. As always, like and subscribe. Check out the other videos on the channel. I've been working on some gaming videos, working on some more short stories. And
I got some martial arts style videos coming up for you guys as well. So stay tuned for that.
So yeah, guys, we're experimenting. So let us know if you like those type of other types of videos that we make. So make sure you comment on those, and we'll get back to y'all with the best sports content in the game. As always, shooters shoot.
Yes, sir. And one more thing from our super producer, Nick. Remember to hype our video, man. Hype. That's a new feature. Like, comment, subscribe. Obviously, that's the bread and butter. But if you have a chance to hype our video, please do.